This is a kind of a stream tutorial, I guess you could say, similar to when I was making one about just playing Advance Wars PvP. We're gonna keep it pretty chill. I do have a list of things we're gonna go through, so you guys can kind of learn some of the things. It's pretty general stuff on how to at least start hacking Advanced Wars DS. This isn't gonna be like this is how you totally convert the whole game to like something else. This is more so what tools do you use and how to use them really. Because I'm not really amazing at it. I'm not like a god in any way. I'll give that to Zenesis, but I try, and I've learned a lot. So some of the things we're gonna go through AR codes. First, that's the simplest. That's not even really hacking. It's really just a way to kind of get you in it, just to learn some basic stuff. How I change colors, and how do I make maps with basically I'm showing you the classic way I would hack the game, but it's not really hacking. It's just putting in codes that modify stuff. And after we talk about error codes, we're going to talk about AR stands for action replay. After that, we're going to talk about inserting graphics, how to change the game's graphics, which gets a little bit more in depth. It's not really more so difficult. There's just a few things you need to know and be mindful of before you do it. And there's formats, because you can't just make whatever you want and stick it in the game. I also don't know all the terminology, so if somebody's watching this and they're a god, forgive me, because I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to be using the correct terminology all the time. Probably at all. Maybe a few things. And I won't be able to explain, the reason why this happens, this is why. I can't tell you that 100%, because, that's another realm. I'm still learning. I'm very much a beginner. But besides that, after we talk about graphics, we're going to talk about some of the hex coding stuff. Pretty much talk about stuff like this, which is a whole different thing. It gets a little complicated, but I'll be able to explain it pretty easily. It's not super crazy. You just need to know where to look. Once we talk about the hex editing and some of the CO stats, we're really just going to look at how to change each CO or each character's music, and some of their stats for each unit, and as well as what stats they gain for CO powers and stuff like that. That's pretty easy. There's just a few things that I still don't know about it that I'll get back. I'll have an update for, but I'll show you again what I can. After that, the final thing we're going to talk about is map insertion. It's the more lengthy one, maybe. I'm not too sure, but it definitely requires a little bit of moving around. As Anissus had told me when I was learning, it's kind of like playing code Tetris, because you have to, if you want to insert a map, sometimes you got to get rid of an old one and then kind of move things around so that there's free space. But you can only do it in a specific spot. So, but besides that, before I get too crazy about it, that's just a simple list of how we're going to do this, how we're going to organize it. Let me turn off my phone's notification noises, because that's going to be annoying. And let me do that. So, if you guys have questions while I'm doing this, feel free to let me know, because, I really don't care. You can ask me whatever you want, and I'll try to address it. Not everything I'll be able to tell you, because obviously I'm very new at this, but we'll see what we can do. So let's start. Also, before I begin, whoever is in here, do I sound good? Is my voice coming out okay? I don't know. We don't have too many people in here yet anyway, so I'm not sure. But, so let me know if I don't sound good. Okay, so we're going to begin this with AR codes. It's one of the simpler things to do. The only important thing is, if you want a very good program to use, I would suggest there's something called the AWDS code maker, which I want to say a guy called Radio. Let's see, it might say it. Let's see. Does it say who made it? About. Yep, Radio Shadow. I don't know where he is anymore. I've read so many things about what he's done, but I don't know where he went. I guess, he just got older and, that was that vision. So, we're just starting off with AR codes, and yeah, we're just gonna keep it simple first. This AR code's not really hacking, but it's like some basic stuff you can get to know. But essentially, if you can get your hands on the AWDS code generator, it'll save you a lot of time when it comes to inserting things, when it comes to like changing map size and some other things. And we'll do an example. So let's see, I'm gonna have to open up another Desmonium because I have another one open that's playing Brenner's song right now. Somebody asked if I'm saving that stream. Where did you find this? You know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't even know. I don't remember where I found half these things. I just kept looking all over the internet, and I somehow found everything I have. I mean, there's not like one little spot where it's all at. There really isn't. You have to find them, and it's like a pain in the ass. So by the end of this video, I'll try to provide some of these for you guys, so you don't have to look everywhere. So I mean, it got buried. But yeah, I'll definitely be saving this video. I just saw somebody ask me that. Let's see. So let's just start this simple. Let's open up Advanced Wars, Dual Strike. We'll just be doing it on a basic. We'll just be doing it on a basic thing. Actually, let's copy it. Let's paste it. We're gonna call this one. Let's call it a hack test, because we're gonna be using this for like everything. So let's open it up. Before I do that, I'm going to load. Import backup memory. This is so that you can keep your save essentially. Like this is how you make sure the game keeps the same save data. So now when I load it in, it'll have like all the COs unlocked and whatnot. Let me also turn this off. Okay. So this is the easiest part. So like let's say we want to do versus mode. We'll start off with simple, and then we'll go into like how to put stuff in the maps. So let's say you want to do Bean Island, and let's say the people that want to fight each other, or let's say you just feel like playing the game and you want to be Black Hole. Let's say you want to be Black Hole. The good thing about this program, which saves a lot of time, because it took me a while to figure out how to change the colors manually, like find the coding for it. I don't even think I even really found it, but this is the best way to do it. So let's say you want to do, you can select what you want. So Army 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. Let's say you want to have the Army 1 to be black. And then let's say you want to make Army 2 yellow. You can make all the codes at once, so you can have a master code. I mean, it doesn't matter. We'll do everything. Let's make yellow, blue. Creates the code. It pops up. It's easy. This is the easiest, but this isn't even hacking. This is just the easiest thing to do for changing colors. So once those codes pop up, you literally copy them, go into cheats, list, action replay, paste it. But since we want to do every code, you literally can go down the line and put every code in one piece. It's not going to get mad at you for doing this. As long as you format it the way I'm formatting it, you're good to go. So only thing you need to remember is that now, at this point, what I usually do is I call this colors, let's say, because now I know how to change the colors. So let's say, like when I do PvPs, let's say somebody wants to play black and one person wants to play blue. Now I just need to make it so, and it's good to know who's player 1, player 2. So like this first line right here, that's for player 1. For second line, player 2. Oh, whoops. Second line, player 2. etc., etc. So if you want to make player 1 yellow, put a 4 there. If you want to make player 2 blue, put a 2 there. And then that's it. That's really all you do. If you want to do black hole is always noted with 5. Very easy. If you do anything other than that, the game gets kind of crazy, and I can show you guys what happens real quick, because, you know, why not? So let's save that, and then let's do that. And yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. As you can see, it usually doesn't even last very long. It usually crashes. It's just because it's selecting a part of the RAM, I believe, or something that doesn't make any sense. So it goes crazy, and it crashed. So there's some instances, there's some colors you can put that won't crash the game, and like there's I forgot what code it is, but there's one of them that makes them look like shadows, like they're like completely black, and it doesn't crash the game, at least not that I've noticed. But you know, but honestly, I wouldn't even worry about doing that because it just makes the game look like really strange. So that's basic for changing colors of units. That's really the easiest part there. Once you have this program, which I'll link at some point, it's not hard. It took me a while to figure it out, and I really thought it was going to be something I'll never be able to do. And then one day I was like, oh wow, it's really like not that hard. But yeah, other than that, moving on to design rooms. And this is kind of obsolete. I really don't need to be showing you guys this, but this is more like the easy way to do it. You know, just because it's kind of easy, but it's in a way where you can get it done without having to do too much work. This is what I did for a while when I was kind of learning it. So my best advice for you, let's say we want to make this map, I don't know, give me a size, Vision. What size do you want to make this map? I wouldn't make it too small, because I believe if you make the game, let's see, I think if you go lower than 15 by, well, I mean, really, you can give me whatever you want, and we'll see if it works. 21 by 21, okay. So 21 by 21, not too bad. Only thing to note is when you make maps, you need to make sure, first off, especially if you're going to be inserting special things, like let's say we want to make a 21 by 21 and we want to add a crystal to it. This doesn't help you too much, and it gets kind of annoying. So honestly, inserting special stuff that might be on, you know, that map, that size, I usually recommend doing it in the more difficult way I'll show you later on. But yeah, for the sake of this, we'll make it 21 by 21, and we're actually not going to use this code generator for it. You could, but we're not going to. What I would suggest when you're making your map, as you can see, it tells you when you're making the map the size. Like right now it says 20 by 3. So let's make a wall of water down here so we can know what we have to cut off. Best thing to do, I think, especially if you're going to use the inserter to insert special stuff, is pretty much, let's say we make our map, let's say this is the map we want. If you want to insert something, let's say at the coordinates 13, 11, let's say we want to put a black crystal there. Let's say we're making a campaign mission or something. You click on that to select it. There's actually a lot of things you can choose from, but we're just going to do the black crystal. You can see the position. It says 13, 11, boom. And we're going to say the map is actually 30 by 20 because the map actually is 30 by 20 right now. You know, we haven't shrank it yet, you know, or done anything. So create it. Boom. That's the code. You know, this is really, I actually find it to be easier now that I know how to insert maps, honestly, rather than doing it this way, because this can be very tedious. It's easy, but it's tedious. So we're going to put that there. We're going to say color black. Well, no, we're just going to say, I usually just have one called special tiles. I'll usually keep all the special tiles on one code, essentially. So boom, add it, save, and you can see it. It looks really like fucked up, but Essentially, let's say we want to save this. In order to like really, if you want to view it correctly, you're pretty much going to have to, let's see, yeah, load map 1. Bam, there it is, crystal. You could do that with anything here. Different things behave differently. So like if you're going to be putting in like a blocked fortress, I kind of forget exactly how it works, because wherever it generates, it makes a lot of stuff around it. Because, I mean, if you generate it, as you can see, the code is huge. So you got to realize that all of these things create that fortress. So, you know, it can get kind of annoying figuring out, you know, first off, it's going to take up a lot of space in your code, and you got to kind of figure out how it gets placed on the map. And I'll leave you guys to that, because I can't tell you. I generally don't generate these much. I've done it a few times, but, you know, it's there. You can do it. So that's that for inserting things. Now, if we want to change them, let's say the map is done, we want to change the map size. I can also post this. You could do it using this AR code, but, oh, not AR code. You can do the map change, the size. You can change the map size using this program, but it's not as good as you would think, because as you can see, I can change the horizontal to 21, but I can't change the vertical to 21. And I mean, it can be done. Like, let's see. Let's clear code. We're gonna try doing it this way. I think it's not too bad. What fun uses have you thought for this extensive editing? I've thought of a lot of things. Honestly, I mean, I've come up with an idea that essentially, like maps, like PvP maps with hazards. Not using this specific way, but having a map that has, like, you know, black hole cannons as like hazards on the map, and then having there be like a lab somewhere that when you capture it, it turns off all the cannons. And that can be done, that really can only be done in the map inserter that I'll show you later. But I mean, that's cool. And I think I've also come up with like battles where both teams are black hole, and there's black crystals spread around the map, so they can use them as like healing stations essentially. That's like a few of the little things I've come up with. Yeah. But anyways, so let's see. So something you need to know, as you can see, 21 by 20. It says 15 by 14. With hex stuff, it calculates different. So if I pull up this, just so I can show you kind of what it means. So let's say 15 in hex. In decimal form is 21. I can't tell you exactly why, but that's just the way it is. So you have to know 15 equals 21, or else you will run into a lot of problems. Like there's a different way, like I can show you what it's like. So there is, let's see, let's clear it. So 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3. I believe it keeps going. Yep, 7 is 7. 8 is 8, and 9 is 9. 9 is 9. But the moment you get to 10, it changes to A. So you just got to know that. So like once you go to the value of 10, it becomes A. 11 becomes B. I think 12 is C. 13 is D. 14. 14 is E. And then, you know, 15, I believe, is F. Yep, 15 is F. And then, you know, and then now there's like that offset. So now 16, as you can see right there, is 10. And then it's, you know, it gets, you know, it can, oh, no, my bad. Putting in the decimal value of 16 equals 10 of that. So it's really kind of, it gets kind of jarring, you know what I mean? So if you want to have hexadecimal code be 10, you got to put an A or a 0A, you know what I mean? And that's just how it is, you know? It gets kind of confusing, and I've made some stupid mistakes forgetting that, or like, you know, typing in, oh, I want this to spawn at the X value 15, but really X value 15 is X value 21, so then you know, you're screwed. So, but anyways, besides that, let's see if we can modify this to make it the way we want it to. Let's see, let's go to that. Gonna make a new one, let's call it map size. Paste that in there, and then we're gonna make this say 15. Let's see if this works. Bam, bam. And then the best way to test it out is to obviously save it. Boom. And then it's gonna look glitched as hell over here, but it'll be okay in a minute. And then bam. So sometimes you'll get a little bit of like, you know, weird anomaly kind of things like this. And just remember, once you're done making your map size, you probably want to turn it off because it can make some weird shit happen. Let's see. Oh, another thing to know: if you're doing this the way I'm doing it in the map editor, the other method I'm going to show you, you don't use the designer map at all. Designer map is separate. It has a separate allocation in the RAM of the game, so it has like a special spot in the code that's just for design maps. So that's where there's so many limitations on design maps. That's why you can't do whatever the hell you want, because it's just a totally different. You see, design map is for RNG. I mean, yeah, it's design map is really like, now that I know how to insert maps, it's really like not the way to go. It's not. It might be a little faster sometimes, but it's not the way to go. Something to keep in mind: if you make the maps go beyond their threshold, like you see how I'm pressing down right now on my key, and it's not letting me go to that bottom spot. So that's when you usually want to use your mouse. Click down there, and then you can move. That's something that's a little trick I learned that, you know, that actually really helps out. That's the best way to press on that. So now this map will be generated in versus mode as, you know, yeah, it actually comes into play when you do that. Now, if we put this map in the game, it will be this size. You know, you could take my word for it. If you want, I could make it legit. I can put that, and then be one of those. And let's see how it works. Let's see. I don't know why there's one of these here. I don't remember putting that there, honestly. Let me see. It's usually good to turn off your special tiles after you're done putting them in, because you really don't need them. But so yeah, so now let's save this map. Bam, design map 1. Cool. And then you can see basically what happened, because I mean the map will come out the same size. I still don't like I said before, I don't want to use design map method anymore, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And I did it for a long time, so. Also, let's make sure that color is fixed. I want to make sure it's not on. Okay, good. If you turn off the AR codes, it's gonna be regular color. But I guess for the sake of showing you how it actually like functions, we'll do that, and we'll do that. So, oh wait, I didn't turn on the code. Well, if you forget to turn on the code, you can always just do that, and it'll kind of change. It does change for the most part. It just gives you a little bit of glitches. Actually, let me see. It might not be giving me. I think I changed it at the perfect time. Oh no, as you can see, it gives you a little bit of glitches. The units look red in here, but it's not a big deal. It still functions totally fine, and sometimes it totally fixes itself. But yeah, that's how that works. If you ever want and also you can press down, like now that we're in an actual game, you can actually move on the bottom tile. It's not a big deal. Another thing to note, if you want black hole tech to work, one team at least has to be black hole. There has to be a black hole team on the map. So let's see, if I end the turn, and let's just say I end Hatchie's turn, then the crystal will work. But if I go here and change this to 3, and now I'm green, and I end the turn, and then I end the turn again. That thing doesn't do anything. It's like useless now. You know, it's just really for show. So technically, you can also use crystals and other things like that as just barriers. That if you don't want to use like a pipe seam, you can use them as barriers in a way, or just something else that's not a pipe seam. You know, you can have fun with that. It's just whatever you want. That's just what you need to know about that sort of stuff. And that's pretty much most of the things. Let me see if there's anything else here I can really... Oh, if you want to have a map that has more than 50 properties and you're using the design map thing, you can also... This generates a code that basically makes it so that when you put it in, it like freaks out the system, and then you can put as many cities as you want. I still wouldn't abuse it too bad, because there is kind of a limit to the point where the game crashes, but I've easily had like 100 to 200 cities on a map, and you know, it didn't crash. So, you know, you go crazy, but just don't abuse it, you know. Don't like cover a whole map with cities and then be like it's gonna work, because it's not. But yeah, that's the easiest part here with AR codes. There really isn't much more to say here without really it being extremely obsolete. And I mean, I don't want to waste your time too bad, because we're here for the hacking. We're here for the tough stuff. So next thing we're going to do actually is we're going to talk about graphics. So we're going to close this game. We don't need it anymore. We don't need this anymore. I'll send that soon. We won't need this for now. Only thing we're going to need for graphics, something called GBA Graphics Editor. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of how I did the thing for Zombie Sensei, or Zensei as people say, how I inserted it. I'm also going to open another program on the side with good old Steam. You don't have to use this program, but you know, it definitely helps. So I'm going to be using Asprites, because Asprites turned out worked very well for me. Some people say it's good, some people say it's not. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. Okay. So first off, let's open this up. I don't want this to ask me anymore about that. Let's see, it should be popping up somewhere. Okay, there it is. Let's not get confused. We'll just close these things for now. Open file, open ROM. Let's look at the zombie one. If it's in here, is it in there? Maybe not. I gotta see where I may have put it. You guys hear that song in the background? Let's see. I wonder where it went. I swear it was in here. If it's not in here, we can open something else. Oh, you want another song? I can open up like another song. It's whatever you guys want to hear, really. I don't really care. Also, for some reason, my zombie mod is not where it's supposed to be. I wonder where it went. Huh. Oh, I know where it went. Wow. This was actually something I was going to show you guys. So when you're opening up DS ROMs, you want to make it say all files so you can see it. Because if you don't, then you know, generally this is supposed to be for GBA. And actually, while we're at it, let me change the song too. Let's see. Let's do. I like Gage's song. Yeah, let's do it. So let's open up Zombie NBS. Boom. So there's a lot of stuff to explain here, and I'm not going to explain all of them. Really not. Some things I still don't even know. Oh, you have a question? What's up? What is nutrition? All right, we're just gonna skip that question because you know, Z doesn't know what nutrition is, unfortunately, and it's been really bugging her since she was born. So something's up. Something's up. But anyways, um, let's see. So some simple things to say about this program. I mean, it opens up literally all the textures in the game. Well, for the most part, there's some things that are a little bit more in depth. That if you need more assistance and you want to help me out, or if you just want to learn this deeper, obviously just contact me directly. Once you get this far and you need to learn more stuff, that's when you should contact me. But I'm just gonna show you basics, like I was saying. So this right here, generally what I first did was I opened up image control and palette control. Palette control basically lets you switch through different images and just view them. It basically just controls what you're looking at, and it controls like the width and the height of the image that you're looking at. Something that's kind of difficult and you have to really get the hang of, you need a little bit of identifying skills, because take a guess at what that is. Take a guess of what we're looking at, that little, and to help you out, I'm going to put it on grayscale. Tell me what that is, and then like if I was just looking at this for the first time, I'd be like, I have no freaking idea what that is. It literally just look. I mean, and you can't even see it. Yeah, it looks like numbers, right? Well, what if I told you that's actually the name Nell? It's actually Nell. This is how the game formats Nell. It's not even like that is her name. Like if I change that, it would change what her name looks like in the game. So let's see. You can kind of make sense of it. No, you make less sense of it the more yeah. So I usually keep it right here on this. For another example, let's go to, let's see, let's keep going. There should be one in here that says Dogma. Let's see. Yep, this one says Dogma. And I edited it so it looks like that. Now, the only thing is I can't remember exactly the palette. I mean, the way you would edit this is you save this as a bitmap. So let's just save it. I don't know. Let's just save it on the desktop. And let's see. There should be some called like, what is this? Medusa? I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't remember. Oh, that's like another weird thing. Yeah, let's find. Does Medusa pop up here? Nope. I want to put it in the Medusa folder so it's easier to get to, but I guess not. I'm just being lazy, to be honest. Alright, fine. We'll just save it on the desktop and then I'll move it. I should have made a folder for all this, which I'll do right now. Alright. Let's see. Hopefully it pops up in here. Nope. How is it not in here? I mean, I see hack. Oh, there it is, hack test. Okay. And then, yeah, very professional. I mean, I told you I'm not a professional, so yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna save this as, I like to save it as what the offset is. So the offset is, as you can see, 13823C. So it's this right here, this offset. That is essentially the location that the game calls on to make it work. So like that is very important. If you change that by one value, it'll like screw up the whole game. But that's why this is very good at being precise. So what I usually do, so I can find it when I insert it back in, is I'll call it what it is. So 13823C. And then you can put like whatever you want, Oh shit, I didn't want to press enter, but it's totally fine. It still works. So the one thing that I would love to see if I still have saved. Let's see if I still have it saved. I think I do, actually. As you can see, I can show you guys what the original Zombie Sensei was going to look like, actually. This is how detailed he originally looked. But I couldn't get him that detailed for another reason I'll explain to you later. But it still looks pretty nice. Let's see. I should be able to work with this one. Yeah, I think this one has the palette I need. So something very important, when you work on any sprite, you need to have the correct palette. And because if you make something using colors that are not authorized by the game, that are not already set by the game, it'll screw everything up, like badly. Like your things will come out in random strange colors that I can't even explain. So let's open this up in Sprite. Let's see. Let's put Dogma's name in here. This is the original one I had edited. So as you can see, this format is exactly the way you want to have your colors. So it's like finding the palette for everything that you use. It's kind of hard in my opinion. I don't remember even how I found this one. So usually, I mean, there's a lot of methods too. Oh, it's a dog. There's a dog barking in the background. But usually there's it's hard to explain how to find it. Honestly, there's different programs you can use, and I don't want to go through finding the palette because I have a few ways I've done it, and it can get really strange. So the best way is, if you want to learn how to find palettes, contact me about it if you get this far, and I can kind of help you through it. It's just it's a matter of finding the palette for every single thing, and it gets crazy. Luckily I have a list of like the palettes for all the commanders, so changing the commanders looks using the palette is very easy. I mean, I can provide that to you. I have them. But every little thing's palette, that's another story. Yeah. But this is already set, so luckily we have the palette for this one. The formatting for these are really strange. All you have to know is you have to make it fit within the confines of the space. And you also need to use the alphabet of the game. So what helps is having the alphabets. Let me see. I'm going to put it over here. What helps is having this alphabet here. So what I did was I literally just found what I wanted to. Actually, this alphabet gives you the color offset you need. So if you ever need to change the names, I can provide you the palette so you can do it yourself. But essentially, I mean, I was going around copying the names so that I don't really feel like doing the whole process. It's a little too much work. But what you can essentially do is just delete all the stuff you don't want. We're not going to save this, so it's not a big deal. And find a way to fit everything in here. So I'll usually go like this. Let's say like that. And then the only thing is you got to remember what gets cut off and put it down below the same format. So like, this might not be the exact perfect way to do it, but it's really darn close. Let's see. I believe you go, let me see, it's one off from that. So let's take this much. Oh my god, my mouse just keeps going crazy. Okay. So bam, bam, paste it in there. So this would fit around, let me see, it's one space from the top. So that should make an A. So if I insert that in the game, the guy's name will be A. And I mean, I could do it real quick if we want to test it. Let me just make a copy of, let's see, boom, boom, boom. Fast Wars DS. All right, let's move this bad boy in our main folder. And instead of opening up Zombie, let's open up the hack test. And let's change, let's see, we could change Von Bolt to that. I think that'd be fine. Yeah. So now let's go back into ASprite. Hopefully it gets formatted exactly the way I want it to. Save as. Let's see. Oh, it's this thing. One thing I don't like about ASprite is the way that it organizes its stuff. It really like doesn't help you that much. Like like the screen for it is not like friendly. It looks terrible. Not gonna lie. But so we're just gonna call it A. You can save it as a PNG. It's no big deal. Actually, I should have named it. Let me see. If you want to do it like the way I'll do it, I usually name it after, you know, what the value is that I have to replace it. So this is the value. Boom, boom. Let's hope this works. Let's go to import a bitmap. Import graphic. Always checkmark abort if new graphics are bigger than old, because if you do not abort if new graphics are bigger, the game puts it in anyways, and if the graphic is too bigger, it spills, and it really just ruins everything in the proximity. Whatever the data spills over, it ruins it. So one day I had made like when I made Zombie Sensei, he was technically he had too many details. Essentially, all the pixels when they became compressed was larger than the original picture of Sensei. So then Jake, I think it's Jake, who was next in the list of commanders, got glitched. Like he was like, he looked disgusting. Like I think he had like pixels, or I think he turned into Javier or whatever. Like you don't want to do that essentially. So keep the make sure that's on so it doesn't mess you up. I always don't import palette. I believe importing palette helps you change the palette, but I don't know enough about that. I always turn it off because you don't need it. It was like Jake, but he had like it was Javier, but he had like white clothes, and like I think they like got like combined or something. It was weird. So let's. Oh, I'm actually getting a phone call. Hold on one second. Let me just do this real quick. I'm still gonna be doing stuff, but 1 second. Okay, I'm back. That was just a quick conversation. So, oh yeah, hello everybody. And what does this say? What's up now, my good sir? Oh, we're good. I'm showing them a little bit of stuff about hacking. Right now we're showing how to hack basically different graphics. So we're going to change Von Bolt's name to A. Hopefully it works. So let's go browse. This is the file we want. Open it up. And let's do it. Finished. Bam. As you can see, it changed it. And let's say we go to, let's turn off grayscale. It's looking good. Let's see. Yeah, it matches. So now let's make sure it actually looks correct in game, which should. If it doesn't, I think I know what I did wrong, but it'll definitely be an A. It just might be a little like fucked up looking. So let me make sure we're on the right one. Hack test, okay. Save, finished. Let's open up this movie again. This can get very messy when you're learning hacking. I mean, this is like nothing compared to when I first started hacking. I had things like everywhere because I didn't know what I was doing. So let's see. Let's go to design room, CO. Okay, it's a little glitchy. I know why, but as you can see, his name says A. The way to fix what I did, I believe. Let's see, what did I do? You can kind of look at it sometimes. It looks like it's just a little bit too high, like the other section of it. So it looks like if I bring it down like a smidgen. Let's see how much. Sometimes you can like eyeball it and you can tell how many pixels. So like one, looks like 3. So I think it was here. So 1, 2, 3. This might fix it. Let's see. Let's save it. We'll just try it again until we get it right. It's all good. And then let's import bitmap again. Boom, boom. Once you get the hang of it and you just keep doing it, it gets much easier. Like now, I mean, you can probably insert this stuff no problem, you know. File, save. Let's open up another one. I actually, you don't have to close this Mumi every time. You can really just close the ROM and then reopen it, but, yeah. You're gonna get used to seeing the Nintendo screen and the opening stuff a lot. So let's see. It might still be a little off, but let's see. Yep, no, that's it. His name is A. His name is A now. So yeah. So essentially, you know, it even works in like versus maps. It's like once you change the name, it changes everywhere, for the most part. Like let me see. CO. Yep, his name is A. So, yep. That's easy. If you want it to be a little bit more to the... You see how his name is very far to the left? You can make it more to the right if you, like, you know, if we would have scooted this a little bit more. You know, but then we would have to scoot this a little bit more. Or we'd have to make this bigger. You know, you just have to work within these confines. It's just like a very specific format that every bit of text, or texture in general, requires. And the one for text isn't very difficult once you figure it out. It's just, you know, you want to get it right. Like I think the A is formatted correctly vertically as well. I don't think it's too high. I think we got it spot on for the most part. But yeah, that's how you change names. That's pretty easy. Changing a CO's graphic is another thing, and we'll touch on this real quick. It's still basically the same process. It's just a little bit more, it's just bigger. You know, that's all it is. It's really just bigger. And there's like specific pieces you have to keep in mind. So as an example, I'll show you, actually, let's go into zombie. Let's go into the hack. I will show you exactly what Zombie Sensei looks like when he's in pieces. Let's see. Where did I put it? It's not sense. I still gotta organize this folder again. It's just, you know, crazy. That's his feet. Okay, there's his body. So, as you can see, well, we'll actually put it in the program. You can get a better look at it. As you can see, this is what he looks like in the game. So, oh, not in the game. This is what he looks like before you put him in the game. It looks like, you know, garbage. I mean, he looks broken as hell. And really the only way to explain this is that the first, it's just, you know, each CO is divided in sections. So like this 64 by 64 box is one piece. I can actually, we'll full screen this and I'll piece it together for you. So let's go canvas size. It's very easy to piece together. You know, sometimes you could make the CO in one full piece and then you can just split them up when you're done. But let's say there's that. I didn't really, oh shit. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you take it in 64 squares because, you know, the thing isn't 64. But you know, you get the idea. You know what I mean? This is how things get pieced together. Let's see. Actually, it is very easy to, if you do it by 64 squares. So let's see. 64 by 64. God damn it. There we go. And this goes here. So like you'll get the hang of the formatting at some point, and you can always ask me questions, but it kind of goes from left to right. So like as you can see, let's bring it back. So like this one here is like the very left, and then this one is like his more righter part. You know, it kind of gets, his whole body gets made like in one box down, I guess you could say, but it pieces it left to right, like two sections. It's really kind of hard to explain, but I think you can visualize it. So like, you know, left, right, left, right, left, right. Like that's really all it is. The only tricky part comes in once you have to start making commanders that are a little bit bigger than normal. Like, I mean, this is a great one. Actually, hold on, I'll put them over here. So this is the one that had me stumped for a long time. So this is Dogma. If you've played the pack or the mod, you've seen him. You know, I kind of made him from scratch, so it was kind of a pain in the ass. But the important thing to know about these guys when you make them this big, these pixels right here is when it gets really strange. So once you've done all of your, you know, 64 by 64 blocks all the way down, there comes a little space at the bottom. Even Sensei has it. You know what I mean? Like it's down like here. You know, and what that box is for every pixel that makes it. I mean, okay, let me see the best way I can explain this. So it's basically every pixel that expands a little further than like how Sensei is made here. There's like, if the character was a little bit bigger, you know, he would need more room. So like, let's see, I can piece them together and show you like what this counts for. So let's change the canvas size again. Let's see, let's bring it to that. Let's see, I'll try to make this pretty simple. Once you get the hang of it, it's not hard at all. It's just a matter of, it's just a formatting thing. You got to know how to format it. Let's see. I'll try to make a guide that kind of like highlights what each area corresponds to. So let's just say this. As you can see, part of his head is cut off, you know, because he's a little bit bigger than what the game usually is. So everything that's cut off here is down here, and it's done. It's done in 16 by 8 boxes, left to right. So like that's one space, that's another space, and it kind of goes like I wish I had the grid system so I can kind of show you it a little bit easier. Let's see. Let me see if I can make this transparent. Doesn't seem like it wants to cooperate. Let's see, maybe this will work. Well, it kind of screwed the colors. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. So let's move this guy back into position. Also, sorry if whoever's watching this thinks this is boring, because it can be kind of boring, honestly. I mean, if you're not into hacking, this isn't really entertainment. It's just like a learning experience. So there's that. So those little pieces that you see right there are kind of broken into sections. So, you know, so like we have 16 by 8 here. So if the character is this tall, 16 by 8 section here, 16 by 8 section here, which is nothing still. And then we need a 16 by 8 section here because it's blank. So to get that, yeah, it's not. You're right. That is why the first two 16 by 8s are blank, because we don't need anything there. But the next 16 by 8 needs to be done. That's why sometimes it's better to make the character in one big piece first, and then break him up according to how this is. So as you can see, if we fit this in this 16 by 8 block, it fits perfectly. And now it's really strange, and it's really it's strange format, but I know the game had to do this in order for it to, be optimally, to make it optimally work in the game, essentially. So now we get this piece, and you never have to piece it together yourself. You're probably going to take it apart. You're never really going to do it reverse like I am. But this is what I had to do to learn it. I had to kind of be like, wait, how does this fit? And I figured it out. And this is just like basic. So all the rest of the blocks going down, all the way down to, this can go up to, I think, like 30 different blocks. Or like there's a lot of little sections here. It goes all the way down. So if your character is huge, and his body extends like down the screen a bunch, like down this section, you're going to have a lot of those little boxes. You just have to know how to format it, and that's basically how you format it. If there are any other questions about that, let me know, because that's kind of a fast way of putting it. And, I don't know how well visualized that really was. But that's basically it. You just have to make sure you do those little blocks down there left to right, and they have to be 16 by 8 squares. And if you need more help, I'll definitely be making a guide on how to format it correctly, because for a while I didn't know what the hell those little like blocks were at the bottom of a character, and yeah, then I learned. But yeah, so if you want to modify your CO, then you figure out the one you want to modify. You make sure you get his palette, which I do have a list of palettes. So if we go in here, actually we go into tools, I actually compiled a list. I finished off a list that was online for like a long time. Nobody finished it, but I finished the list, which gives you that it starts at Von Bolt because the rest are online and I could find them and add them. But these numbers here are the offsets for each character's color. So let's see. Boom. I don't even know what I opened this. So let's say we want to open up, let's see. So image, let's go to 1066. I believe that is Sensei. That is Sensei? Yep, it is Sensei. If your character doesn't pull up correctly, yeah, I'll make this accessible so you guys don't have to like scavenge the internet for all this garbage. But so this is how Sensei looks in the game. That's what I showed you earlier, but this is how it looks like if you're going through the files. You can put him in grayscale so it's a little easier. So, but his color is obviously wrong. So if you want to fix that, you can go and find his thingy, his offset, which is, I go with the first offset because that's his original skin color, and paste it in there, and bam, perfect. At that point, if you have the offset and you can put it into this program and then you save it as bitmap, that's how you can basically get the color palettes that you want. So if I save it as bitmap, save it in hack test, it says colored sense, bam, and then if I open up him, the palette is right here, and now I can edit him. The way you want to remember it though is Sensei's palettes are kind of spread out like this. Like if let's say you're gonna work on his regular skin, just work on that. You know what I mean? And then you could work on the next sections, you know, little by little. Because you don't, if you start putting in all these other colors, like, you know, like this is for like his next offset. Like, let me see. I believe it should be like 8. Like 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Actually, no, it's more than 8. I'm not sure why. Not sure exactly why it's more than 8. Then there must be some other palettes in the game that I don't know about or something. But basically, if you want it to be perfect, just stick with the first row. I always say, just so you can stay within the confines of his basic skin or his basic, you know, color patterns. And then, you know, you can just do whatever you want. If you want to have him have like a big yellow, you know, pimple on his head, you could do that. Save it and insert it, and then he'll have a big ass, you know, yellow pimple on his head. That's, you know, it's pretty much you know, you inserted the same way that we inserted the A, essentially. I mean, we could do it if you want to see it. Hopefully, I mean, let's just make his whole head like. Let's literally just make him like a big orange head, like that. And you know, let's just give him a. Let's make him like a dinosaur. I don't know if this is gonna work exactly because I may have made it a little bit bigger, but let's save as. We're just gonna keep it as sense.png. Yeah, this is prime editing. And then yeah, you do it like everything else. You go to the thingy. What's it called? It's in here. Import bitmap. You don't need to import the palette. Hopefully it's not bigger. It might be bigger, so it might not let me do it, but let's see. Bam. Come on. Okay, I did it. Nice. So now, if I save this game, it should pop up with him having a big yellow smiley face, or orange smiley face. Let's see. This looks ridiculous. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, whoops. Yep. There it is. He did it. And it'll even change color palettes too. So if you want him to look like Yoshi, you know. I mean, it it follows the same scheme, so yeah, that's how you give Sensei a big dinosaur face. I mean, it came out actually like it kind of looks good actually. It actually kind of like now I almost want to make him like look like that for real one day. But as you can see, it's not that hard. I mean, you just got to know what to do. So there's that. Furthermore, once you get deeper into editing that, you'll notice a few things that you can talk to me for if you want to delve deeper into it. But you'll notice that, like, let's say we go to Bean Island and we go to Sensei. You can see that in this picture. What do you say? Fun. I just can't unsee the fact that I know the goggles are Sensei. Wait, those are actually no. Those are just I don't think those are his actual eyes. There's no way his eyes are like that open. But well, I mean, for my little dinosaur dude, yeah, that was amazing. But as you can see, Sensei's face is not changed in this. It's also not going to be changed when you get in the game and you see his little icon there. Those are different sprites entirely. Like totally different sprites. So to find them, it's just a whole different process, which I could go into, but it can take a long time. See, these are all the other COs that we're passing by. Also, the legs are separate from the body. So you always have to remember that if you do the body, you got to change the legs if you're doing a full body sprite change. And it's the same process like I described, but you just got to know. Also, since there are two alternate skins, or since every CO has an alternate skin, the alternate and regular will always be in here as well. So like, let's see, I think, yeah, see like the alternate skins now, you know, all these things here. It's like, well, actually, yeah. See, like now these are like the alternate legs, blah blah blah. You know how it goes. And then you start coming up with other things. Like these are like some of the images that appear. I don't know why it looks so like it looks kind of like maybe because I'm not on grayscale. Okay, there we go. That looks a lot better. But you know, this shows you all their faces. Like I think this is like their neutral face. And then it switches to like, you know, like when they're mad, when they're happy. And you have to make sure, remember you have to change every single image of them in the game to make it look good. And each different image has its own format, so you have to kind of match it up. Again, if you need help, I'm obviously always here to help because I did Dogma, and Dogma I had to change all of his little pictures. And it did Zombie Sensei, so you know, you can even see the sprites for the soldiers. You know, and this is the Black Hole Soldier. That's where I got Dogma from, and then I edited it and stuff. You know, but yeah, I mean, it gets even deeper as you go further. You have to start changing. Like I think, let's see, it should be coming up. Yeah, like these are different types of portraits that have a totally different other kind of format style. I want to say these sprites here. Let's see if I can get a good look at what it looks like. Let's see. I want to find one that I can actually like understand what's going on, so I can kind of see. You usually want to keep change. Like okay, that's a good shot. So the more clear you can see. The more clear that you can see like their faces this is the one you want to usually save and then edit on top of, so that you have the right, you know, format. All of it is really not that hard. You just have to look at it and piece what fits where and then recreate it, you know. So and I'll try to make guides for like all these things. It's just that's gonna take me a while. So really I'm kind of leaving it up to you guys if you guys want to do it. But yeah, at least Elder for CEO for Andy's alternate custom. I could do it. It's not hard, but the thing is, I gotta change the whole body, which I could technically do if we look at the concept art. But yeah. But yeah, so that's it for graphics. That actually took a lot longer than I thought. How long have we been at this? We've been at this for an hour so far. Not too bad. But I guess now I'm gonna use the restroom. I'm gonna be right back so I can take a quick bathroom break, and yeah, and then we'll be back. The next two things we're going to talk about is the hex and CO stat editing. So how to change let's say we're going to probably edit Andy to make him do more damage to like, you know, well, not make we'll make like his infantry do like crazy damage, or make like, you know, his units lose like one range, different things like that. I'll show you how to edit that stuff and show you how to edit their music in a game. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pee, and yeah, we'll be back. So yeah, see you guys in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, just give Andy a helmet. Yeah, I would give him like the orange star helmet. But so now we're done with graphics. We gave Sensei a face. And so let's close this for now. Now we're going to get into this. So this gets a little bit more complex. And this I can't even fully explain. I just know where to find it and I know how to change it, and that's what matters. When it comes down to everything else, I can't really tell you every little detail of why it works, because you save that for Genesis, because maybe when I get a little bit better and I fully understand every little bit, I can tell you exactly what that does to the game's code. But this is basically like this is basically the game in hexadecimal form. So let's go to hack tests. Let's open up this one. So first we're going to let's change Sensei's, let's see, one of his lines is, he says something about being cranky. So let's search string values. This is the easiest one to change. Okay, one of his things, he says, I'm getting cranky. Let's make him say, well, Vision, what do you want him to say? Let's see what Vision says. Okay, I'm old. It's pretty easy. So I'm old. The rest of this, we're going to space it so it's blank. The game is still going to make the noise like more text is appearing. I don't know how to edit that. That's a little bit beyond me right now, but it'll be like, it'll say I'm old, but you'll still hear, you know what I mean? But, we'll make him yell it. We'll make him say I'm old. Oh, whoops. No. Bam. As you can see, each letter is dependent on different things. So 64 is D. You know what I mean? In text form. Gets kind of weird. You can pull up a conversion thing online that'll tell you if you want to see exactly what your text looks like. You can kind of do that, on the internet to kind of convert it. But just type it in there and you'll be fine. Just make sure you have it on insert mode, which, let me see, I think there's a setting for it somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. I don't really remember. Well, see how this says, okay, there we go. I think you double click it. So you want it to be not on insert, but overwrite, because overwrite is just a way of replacing instead of inserting totally new stuff. Inserting totally new things can really screw up your code, because if you insert a whole new thing here, it'll push everything down and it'll screw up everything. So just replace. You can only insert once you have free, like you really only ever want to replace. The best thing to do is to free up space. So let's say we don't want, so let's say we totally remove everything for one character, like whoever says, okay, it's game time. If we want to make his statement bigger than this, then we'd have to essentially delete all this stuff and get rid of them. Oh yeah, okay, it's max. Then we'd have to, make free space, delete some of it, or delete somewhere else in the game, and then move it down. That's what I mean by text Tetris, or it's like code Tetris, where you have to, if you want to insert more than what you're given, you have to move things around, delete stuff, and format it back. And that can be a little bit of a pain. But as far as simple stuff goes, we're just gonna replace, keep it cool, keep it simple. So one marker to know when you've reached the limit is you'll see these 0E, 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 0E. I believe those are all wait, that might be, no, it can't be Grim. It can't be, because Grim is usually oh yeah. So, well, this is kind of a no. Grim doesn't technically in the code. Grim does not come after Sensei. In the code, I can show you. In the code, the COs are in totally different order than what you think. So let's see. After Sensei, I believe it's Jake. So it might be Jake. Let's see if this one. Here's my chance. Might be Jess. I want to turn 2 Course Crusher loaded. I know that's, yeah, no, it's really all over the place. So I wouldn't even worry too much about this being in order. It's just about finding the text and changing it. You know, text can really be all over the place. Well, I mean, if it is Jake, then that would mean that, yeah, no, it's all over the place because Jugger is like in a totally different spot. But yeah, it doesn't matter. The text is really all over the place. But anyways, so now he says I'm old. Sometimes when he does his power, he'll say I'm old, which is cool. That's simple. You can change any text you want. You can even change like all of this is like all the text information. So you can even find the names of a map. So let's say we want to change Little Island. Let's see. Let's say we want to change the name of Little Island to let's see. Let's just say Little Turd. Then boom. Now the map will be called Little Turd. And you know that's simple. Changing text is very easy to do. You can change every bit. Even if you change like the name of, like, let's say we want to change Copter Command. Copter Command. Let's see, I can't find it. Let's see. Maybe let's just go all. Okay. So let's say I want to change it to Burr. Then now it'll be changed. It's also pretty easy to do. It'll even make it so when he does his power, it'll say on the screen Burr. You know, like it'll automatically format that for you. Also, it's getting kind of dark, so let me turn on my light. There we go. A little better. And so let's see, what can we do now? Let's see. Oh, well, now, I mean, I haven't gotten into this yet. So finding the CO's data is a totally different piece of thing somewhere in this. There's a whole article on it I'll post when I start sending some resources. But the best thing I can tell you is you can Control F to find, go to hex values, and let's look up. Well, first off, let's see what Sensei's offset number is. Let's see. Sensei is 13. So let's do this. 13 0 0 0 0. I think it's F0 as well. Let's see. Yep. So now, bam, that's not it. Do it again. Let's go forward. I just keep pressing find and then pressing OK. And if once it's formatted like this, like off to the side in this location, you know you found it. Because if we keep going up, let's see, if we keep going up from there, we should be able to find a 12. Yep, there's the 12. And the 12 is Jess, I believe. Because I think, see, yeah, Jess is 12. So this is all of Jess's stuff. But then the moment you get to 13, which don't feel like finding it again, so we're just gonna do that. There it is. A lot of these things have actually been identified on certain articles that I found, but I'm not gonna go through all of them because it's just a lot and they mean different things. So we're just gonna look at, like, you know, unit stats and such. And maybe it's like the music. So let's say we want to make this, I believe right here is his music. Let me see. Yes, this one's his music. And then this right here, let's see. This is that's how many stars he has overall, including like big stars. This is how many little stars. So as you can see, it's a 2. Because, you know, he has 2 little stars in his CO power, and then he has, I think he has 4 big stars, which all equals 6. So that's how you would, like, format that. If you were to make this, let's say we make this, let's say we make this 0 1, and then we make this 0 2, then he can spam the hell out of his power, like, all the time. That's going to mean he has 1 little star and 1 big star. That's what that means. And then let's music. Let's pull up a list of music. Let's see. I should have a folder around here. Let's see. Might be in my desktop actually. Well, I could just find it this way. Give me one moment. I'm gonna save it so we can look at it. Boom. Let's save it in our hack test. Okay. So we're going to be opening up this whole guide. This is where all the notes that Zenesis has made is. He's made it public, and it's a lot of information. But all we care about is songs. So let's see if we could find it in here. Let's just do song then. Boom. Okay, song IDs. It's kind of important. So let's see. According to this, Sensei's song is 0D. Let's just confirm that. Yep, Sensei's theme 0D. So if we want to change that song to, let's say, let's see, let's go back to Word. See, now my stuff's getting messy because I have so many things open now. Boom. Let's say we want to change Sensei's theme to, let's make it, let's see, let's make it Black Hole Tag theme, so 2F. Then you just change this to 2F. And now he's going to have the theme song of the Black Hole theme for the entire game. For now, we're just going to save what we have. Everything that's in red is what you've edited, so we're just going to save it. So this is in the game now. When we boot it up, all the stuff we've done will happen. But before we do that, let's change some of his unit stats. The way to best identify this stuff is actually, let me see if I can find it. Yep, the best way to identify it is when you start seeing these values, 02, 15, and 26, generally is a sign that you're about to mess with unit stats, or with, you know, like the CO's unit stats. The way it's formatted is a little different than what you'd expect. I should have a list right here. Let's see. I'll make it a little easy for you in 1 second. Let's see. I also want to open up. Let's go to the stream. Hacks and mods, rebalance. Let's open this up. Oh, it's not in there. Yeah, there's a list of units. I'm trying to remember where I put it in. I put it in one of these things. I mean, like I have it. It's just a certain way. Here, I can just pull it up on the internet too. Let's see. Just give me 1 moment. It'll all make sense in 1 minute. Okay. So let's go CO data. No, yeah, CO data. Zenesis laid out what units, or what each section stands for. So here, I'm going to actually put it, I'm going to put this in the Word document so it makes a little bit more sense. So let's go all the way to the top. Let's edit. Okay. Wait, what did I do? Okay. Don't know why it's highlighted like that, but it doesn't matter. So, as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different things. Now, for this to match up with what we're doing here, we have to look. the way I like to do it is I like to, let's see, visual group, let's group them by 4s. So now they're closer together. And so if we're looking at these values, this right here is the first set. This is for this code right here is for soldiers. The way you can tell what this value means is another thing. So I mean, you got to have a lot of things handy to get this to work. So let's see. I have this one. I have this one right here. Should be in tools, stat pointers. So this is something I also need to work on more because I want to add new stats to the game. I want to be able to add like ones that are not preset, because every stat that you see in the game, you know, whether it be what happens after a CO power or what happens after, like on day to day, whatever you do, it is already preset in a list. So essentially what I mean by that is all these values you see here, like let's say that's this one right here, it translates to +10 attack. Don't ask me exactly how. I kind of know, but I'm still figuring some of that out. But that means, so let's look at it this way. 0 to, so okay, I should have explained this. These values, the way they translate from this to this is backwards. And what I mean by backwards is this. Let me go back to this. This is where it might get a little confusing. So each byte, which is 2 sets of numbers, like that, like that. Remember when we were doing text? Remember how 64 equals like D or something like that? What that means is that byte, if it's 64, it's always going to be that. If it's flipped, it still needs to be 64. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make it 46 or it'll be a totally different value. So essentially you get this value. So let's say we want to make his infantry. Let's say we want to make Sensei's, well, I guess looking at what he has here, let's see, 02, 15, 26, 8A. Let's find that in here. 02, 15, 26, A8. Okay, let's go up. There we go. That corresponds to +10 attack. So that means that his infantry, which is this first set of bytes, is set to that. So that means that his infantry get +10 attack. That's like his day-to-day effect. And then, so now if we go back to, let's see, if we go back to this, then it's makes a little bit more sense since it's together. So this is for his infantry, this is for his, let's see, what is it, direct vehicles, and then we have indirect vehicles, and then we have, you know, planes, blah, 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 blah. Let's say that we want to make his infantry do, let's say we want to make him have, let's go with 60 attack, 2 move, which is this value right here. We have to do it backwards. Remember that. So now, let me keep this close so I can see it a little bit better. So now let's make it, so it's 20, 26, 15, 02. 02 is already there. Okay. So now his infantry will be 60 attack plus 2 move, day to day. And then all the other things are explanatory by what this looks like. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So his 5th value should be the copters. So that's the copter. And let's look for one of these that ends in C8. It should be 26 C8. Yep. So this is meaning that his copters get plus 50 attack day to day, which is kind of crazy, but now you can see it in the code. I mean, that's why it corresponds. That's copters, and that's the copters. So there's that. And since I said it's 11 values here, 11 values is literally that much right there. I think, let me see, so that's 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, so this is the entire list of his day-to-day effects for units. Beyond that, let's say we want to change what happens when he does his superpower. Let's say we want to make his, let's see, let's kind of match it up here. Okay, so this is his infantry. Let's say for his superpower, or for his regular power, his infantry go back to normal. That's basically that. Like I said, like, you know, this is the same list again, but it has to do with his power. Let's make his copters, which is, let's see, what was it again? It was 5. So his copters are this. Let's make his copters also have. Let's make him do what his infantry get. 226, 1502 is already there, and that'll basically change that. And then you follow this step for everything else. And then the next set of values that are his units, which you start to get an eye for once you start editing it. Now this is going to be his superpower code, and then whatever you change there will be what his units gain for his superpower, essentially. And that's it. That's as simple as how that goes. Once you locate the area, you just have to pull up a list of the stat pointers, and then you can just mix and match whatever you want to do, whatever you want to, you know. My next challenge that I'll release an update for is how to add new values so you don't have to use these. Because I know some people that want to have values like plus 55 attack, plus 1 move, and that's not in here. You know, you don't see that. So soon, which isn't going to be long, I don't know when I'll be able to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how to change these values so we don't, I mean, like, there's 2 of them here that have plus 1 move, so like, why are there 2 of them? So I'm going to start editing them and making some room and changing them to what I want them to be, so we can have different values of attack and defense that we want to do. And yeah, when you look at the D means defense, attack means, or the A is attack, the M is move, the R is range. But that's it. That's it for CL stats. So now we gave Sensei. We're making Sensei very OP. So that's what he has there. So we're done with that. Bam. Like I said, if there's any other questions, feel free to ask me later or hit me up once you get into hacking. But that's that for changing very simply some stats. Now, before I go any further, are there any questions? I don't know if Vision is still in here. I kind of went through that kind of fast, I think. And it wasn't fully explained like 100% well. I just kind of I'm just kind of showing how to find it, because that's the most important thing. So if you have no questions and it made sort of sense, so you're ready for me to move on? Oh, plus 30 attack? Oh, plus 30A, that's plus 30 attack. So let's say we want to make, actually, I don't even see a plus. Where's the plus 30 attack? Oh, I see it. Yeah, this right here, this is Grim stats, essentially. Yep, that's pretty much Grim stats. So if you want to give somebody else Grim stats, you can just, as long as you, like, if we go to Grim right now, which, let's see, Grim is, let's confirm it. So Grim is, he is, let's see, Grim, he's 18. So if I edit what? Okay, if I edit those values, I can't edit it, like, I pretty much, like, hold on, let me show a good example. 1 second. Let me go back to the stat pointers. There we go. So if I edit like this code right here, it'll actually it'll really just glitch out the game, because essentially that code, that little beginning code, it's what it's called a pointer. And what that means is that it finds another part of the code. It finds another piece of code in this big mass of code that it pulls it from. So it's almost like a pool. So when you put that value, it says, okay, I'm going to go to that pool and I'm going to use that value, if that makes any sense. So my next goal is to find where that pool is and edit them so that it works. So like that value of that 02, 15, 27, 5, 8 is just a pointer. And it's not really, that's not necessarily the code to make it 30 attack, minus 20 defense. It's more so a way to get there. Or it's more so like a way for the game to find it. And there's a weird way of like reverse engineering that you use to figure out the actual code, which that's my next goal. So I can make my own stats, so I can actually make it. So like if I want to make it so that pointer, 0, 2, 15, 27, 58, if I want to make that pointer do, let's say, plus 50 attack, minus 50 defense, then I would have to find that location in the pool and change other values that look nothing like what you see right now. It's another type of, it's another bit of code. So that's one of my next goals, and it shouldn't be that hard from what I've heard. It's just a matter of finding it, really. And I think I have found it. I just don't know how to read it yet, and I'm going through it. I'm trying to figure it out. Anyways, so we found Grim. So to confirm this, let's find where his units are. So let's see, it ends in 58, so it should begin in 58. Let's see. All right, I think we're close. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I got it right here. Wait, one of them says 38. Let me see. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong spot. Because this right here... No. This is where it starts. Okay. I believe. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 8. I think I'm missing one. Because I don't think... Let's see. F0... Let's see, we're gonna figure this out. Yeah, this is strange. It looks like Grimm's code. It's a little strange. Yeah, it's actually a little strange. It looks like... let's make sure this actually is Grimm. 00FO. So usually it starts like this. This means that's like neutral. That's bland. That's like nothing. And then you have this is that. This is that. I want to say. I wonder if I'm even looking at the right CO. Honestly. I feel like I'm not, because those values don't match up. I mean, I know Sensei was totally correct, but well, I mean, I guess the other way we can do this is just by typing in this. So let's find 58 58 27 15 02, and let's just go. So I can't find it going backwards. How about forward? Okay, so I found it here. This looks more like, this looks exactly like Grimm's stats actually. So I'm not sure what it was doing. Yeah, this looks exactly like Grim stats right here. So either I messed up and had the wrong values or something. Yeah, maybe. This is definitely him. Oh, no, this is right. I think I was just looking in the wrong spot somehow. Yeah, because I see, because as you can see, there's 19 right here, and 19 is the next CO, which 19 is, let's see, 19 is Kindle, so the next one is Kindle stats. But yeah, so, you know, if you really can't find it for some reason, if it's not matching up, then that's how you would do it. You know. From what it looks like, though, it still looks like there's some pieces of code here that is kind of strange for Grim that I wouldn't expect. But I'm sure there's something that I'm just missing, or, you know, because I can definitely see it down here. But anyways, so that's it. That's basically, you know, what these values mean, and you can find them and edit them, or, you know, use this pool of information to kind of form your own COs until I figure out how to make new stat pointers so that we can make it even more, you know, customizable. And I'll let you know when I figure something like that out. Or you can contact me as always and see what I'm up to, because I'm not going to release too many updates about this. I want this to be more of like, this is how you can get into it, you know. And hopefully it's making somewhat sense. But yeah, so that's it for that. Now let's test it out. So let's just save what we have. Let's see. Let's change, save changes. Yes, let's save changes. And now let's see what happens in the game. For now, I'm going to pause Days of Ruin because we are going to also hear a new song that Sensei has. Because we've really just been hacking Sensei mostly this entire time. So let's bring the volume back up. All right. Versus Blam Blam. Let's go Sensei. Actually, let's do 2 CPUs and just make visuals off. Let's see, is fast forward still on this? Yep. I also want to show off like the powers and whatnot. And I think that's all we gotta do. Okay, yep, so his song is different. Look at his stars. His stars look freaking crazy. That music like totally fits him. His units now move +2. His infantry move +2 and do 60 attack. So Hachi is about to get like slammed. Look at that. Oh my god. Let's see that. I want to see. Oh no, it'll be next turn. He might say I'm old next turn. Let's see. He might say I'm old. There's a lot of things he says. I'm old. Yep, perfect. Oh my god. Oh, it's over. Oh my god. So I don't think he's ever going to use his regular powers, so we won't be able to see us say Burr, but I'll show you in a minute. Wow, he's like only saying I'm old. We got really lucky. Yeah, I don't think Hachi can take it. Yeah, it's over with. Look at the swarm. Well, yeah, but we edited the hell out of Sensei, so now he's like freaking broken. Oh wait, I just realized I should have made it so we could see his face. Yeah, we really just broke Sensei really bad, and he also has the black hole music. Okay, let's see. We should be able to see his face when he does this. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, it's over with. It's like a troll face almost. It's like, yeah, you know you're gonna lose. Oh wait, oh okay, look, it should say it now. Brr, there you go. So that is a test of Broken Sensei, just so we can get a good idea of how it all worked and came together, and it did. So, but for now, we have one more thing to do, which is hopefully not the longest one. It might take a little bit of time because map insertion isn't that hard. It's just I'll do it as fast as I can. So let's close this, and let me put on the music again. Let me unpause this, but now let's do a different song now. Let's do Tabitha. People like Tabitha. I mean, I like her too. So, final part. So let's close everything we don't need. We don't need this. We don't need stat pointers anymore. We're done with that. We're done with the palette offsets. That's like way old. We kind of need this. I'll just minimize it. We don't need that. See, I don't need that right now. We don't need this anymore. And don't need that either. God, there's so many things. Okay, I also do not need the internets. So let's go back to tools. Gonna look at my map insertion stuff. There's about three different tools you're gonna be needing. Maybe 4 if you count the hex editor, which we're actually gonna need again later to insert maps. But for now, we're gonna start doing one step at a time because this gets a little crazy, but it's not hard once you know what to do. So first off, we're gonna start off with map win. I'm gonna open this up. I've showed some people how to use this before. And just for the sake of this, for now, because we're going one step at a time, let's full screen it. Let's make a new map. This is the important part. Make this 16 by 16. And let's say we want the map size to be, I don't know, let's just make it small. We'll just do 17 by 17. And that's all you got to do there. Boom. It's telling me, oh, you should load some stuff. So the important thing is you have the right tile sets. For some reason, Advanced Wars Dual Strike did not work for me. The one that was provided originally did not work for me. So Zenesis sent me one that did work for me. So, you know, if the original one doesn't work, I mean, I'll send you mine anyways. If that one doesn't work, there's another one. It shouldn't be that bad. But, so once you have this open and you make the map, to insert the tile set, all you do is you click it and you drag it in. Boom. Now you have a tile set. We're doing the Advanced Wars DS just for the sake of, you know, of just because we're modifying Advanced Wars DS. So I always start off doing like a box, like let's say we want the whole map to be plains. I start off with a little box like that. And then I press grab new brush. I click and drag to copy over that. You can call it something. I'm not going to call it anything. And now I have a new brush. So now if I do this, boom. So this really comes in handy for pretty much all this stuff. So bam, now the map is all plains. So all these things on the side here, we can make them a little bigger so you can see a little bit better. We can also go to Map Tools, and we can go to Zoom X2, a little bigger. And then we can do some, you can basically do whatever the hell you want. You can place almost anything you want to place. So if we want to do a map where each team has a lab instead of an HQ, we can do that. And then we can make it so, you know, let's say each team has a factory, you know, and these lasers don't work, by the way, but you know. And then let's just say for the heck of it, we're gonna do that, which is really ridiculous. And let's do, let's put one of these here. Let's put one of those there. Or actually, no, I'm gonna put it right there. Just so I can show you how I can, you know, easily turn it off if I have to. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want on the map. I mean, you know, don't go too crazy, you know, so you don't break the game. But, you know, you can place a bunch of whatever the hell you want anyway. You can even have neutrals, you know, HQs. But really, I mean, I guess one of the important things, this is for empty missile silos. There's a lot of little things in here I can teach you to be more specific, but you know, I'll wait until you really get into it, and then you know you can ask me so we don't identify every single thing, because that's gonna take a while. So that's it. You make a map, you use these tiles to make whatever you want to do, and then once you're done, you press File, Save As. We're just gonna call it Test Hack, like we have been calling it. Boom. And then we're going to export. Make sure you clicked Map Array, MAR. That is very important. You have to do that if you want the map to actually be used in what we're about to do. So boom. Now the map is saved on my computer as an MAR. Now we open a few more tools. Yay. Now that that's done, let's see. You essentially have to use this program to insert the map. And it's not the worst. There's just a few things you need to keep in mind. So, looking at all the maps in Advanced Wars, let's just open up the ROM again before we insert anything. It's always good to, you know, look at what you're working with before you actually put anything in there, because you can easily end up breaking the game like I did when I was testing it. It's also extremely dark, so let me bring up this even more. There we go. This is where it gets a little bit more like you have to really watch what you're doing. Let's also turn the sound on this off. Alright, so let's look at the versus maps, because we're going to replace one of them. For me, because I'm doing PvP, I generally like to replace maps that are pre-deployed, because one, nobody wants to play pre-deployed generally, and they are some of the biggest maps in the game. And just the way I explained sprites, where you don't, when a map gets put in a game, or when the map gets inserted into the game, it's compressed. And when something is compressed, the more sprites that are on the map, which is like, you know, if you clicked all over the place until you had like, you know, basically the maps are essentially sprites anyways. They have to generate sprites so you can see it. The more shit you put on the maps, basically, the bigger the file is when it's compressed. So basically, I'm never going to. Oh, also, as you can see, I called the map Little Turd, and it's called Little Turd. If I replace a map over Little Island or Little Turd, then the map needs to have around the same amount of pixels. It has to be the same or less pixels than that map. So generally, I say screw that, and I don't even mess with these tiny maps. There's actually a way you can kind of delete them from being used, and you know, that's usually the best thing to do, so you can save space. But you know, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about little maps like that. You can essentially, if you wanted to keep some of the small maps, you can move them to the classic area and get them out of the way. But for us, for our sake, we're going to copy over, let's do arrow points. And yeah, we're going to copy over arrow points. And let me just look at something real quick in the map. Actually, that should be player 1. It doesn't really matter. I accidentally put player 3. Bam, let's just let them do their turn. I just want to look at the map real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of things on this map. This map has a lot of pixels. And it's also a lot of units. And the good thing about that is that we can make our own list as to what units spawn on the map. And that we'll get to in a minute. But as you can see, that's how it's set. I just like to look at the map to see what I'm working with instead of just preview looking at it. But that looks good. Okay, we're going to replace over that map. Let's close this. The next tool we're going to open up, something called Nightmare. Bam, Nightmare. It's a nightmare. So let's open ROM. Let's go to the one we've been doing, which is, well, let's go to, let's see where it's at, desktop. Should be hack test. Yep. And let's open up our ROM. Yeah, there we go. And then module, it's another little thingy. I think it really just, the module, what it really is, I mean, it's just a way of like pulling up all the information. This is more of like, somehow, I don't even know exactly how this is done. You can use this program to change. This is how I was basically doing the campaign maps in versus mode. It's very, very handy. Let's go to, should be something called map insert. Maybe I can just do this. I don't want to do all that. Module. No, I can't. Okay. So I guess we're gonna have to go all the way through my files to find it. So let's go to the stream. And then let's go to, I believe I put it, let's see, where did I put it? Oh, okay, I see. So ROMs, wherever, okay, the ROMs, Advanced Wars, ON first DS, CPU experimental. I really got to make this better. Hack stuff, map inserts, module. That was a pain in the ass. Okay, it shouldn't be a pain in the ass for you because more than likely I'll organize it better for you than I organize it for myself. So when I open this up, it shows me every single map. And the map we wanted to replace, ooh, can somebody help me out? Do you remember what map it was I wanted to replace? Ooh, what was it called? I already freaking forgot. I mean, we can open it. We can just open it back up. Do you remember Vision or somebody? If not, we can. Island something. Okay. Let's see. It is called. It's called Arrow Point. Nice. So Arrow Point. Let's change Arrow Point. Usually it's it's next to the other maps that are pre-deployed. So let's see. Hopefully it's not too hard to find. Sometimes it can take a little minute. Guess it's a matter of where. We gotta figure out where it is. Let's see, Big Daddy, Wrench Island. I think we're close. Okay, that's Bead Islands. Dang, where is it? Let's see, what are the other maps next to it? We have Dead Lakes, all those other things, okay. It can be a pain in the ass to find it. There's a little bit of, okay, this is Dead Lakes. So we're close. No exit aisle, arrow point. Okay, cool. There's a lot of different settings here you don't need to worry too much about, and we'll actually mess with them later. For now, the only thing we need to look at is the NC map data. There we go. Okay. So, in order to essentially find this in the game, there's a weird kind of format we got to do. Or, you know, to find the offset. We don't need to look in the code anymore, but we have to be able to put it in here. And this is where it gets kind of strange. So the way to do it, let me see, I think I need to pull up this. So that code that we're given right here is essentially the ROM, it's essentially ROM data. Oh, no, RAM data. Let's see. So I believe, yeah, it's this one. Wait, is it this one? Hold on. I've got to remember this real quick. Okay. So essentially, to find it, it's actually find in ROM from RAM. So we're given RAM, and now we have to find it in the ROM, which was all those, like, you know, like the big hexadecimal thingy. Basically, all you need to know is you need to get rid of the O2, and you need to subtract that value by this. Now, to make sure we don't mess it up, because actually, you know, it can be very easy to mess it up. Let me see if I can pull this one up to see if this one makes any sense. Okay. So, all right. So let's do one test. So I should be getting a value that equals. So let's do a test on Little Island just to make sure we're doing this correctly. Little Island should equal 1812. Like if I put this value into this, it'll replace Little Island. But let's just figure out how I got that calculation one more time, just to make sure I don't mess this up. And let's just, for the sake of it, let's just copy this. Let's just put this in there so we don't forget it. And then let's go to Little Island. I know Little Island is like right here. Oh, there we go. So this is the code. And let's calculate this by doing this. Is once you get the calculation done, you don't have to worry about calculating anymore unless you want to copy it over another map. So let's see. So we have 6C 53 2B 02, and the way we find it is to truncate that. Okay. Let's see how this looks. So it should be 2B. Oh wait. 1 second. Let's go to hex. So 2B 53 6C minus 134 160. Okay, good. Okay. So now I know for a fact I'm doing it correctly. Okay. So essentially what I did was I got this value, I flipped it around, because if the O2 is at the end of your value, you have to read it the opposite way. You know, like O2, 2B, 53, 6C. That's how you have to read it. If you're given the value backwards, or if you're given the value with the O2 at the end. Because most things that you find in the code usually have an O2 at the end, like, you know, for these specific pointers. You know, so I mean, you'll get the hang of it. Basically, whatever value you get here, flip it around, take off the O2, and then subtract it by this value. Yeah, it's truncate means get rid of the O2. Subtract that from that, you know. Really, it's just looking at what you have and figuring it out. You know, it took me a minute to really learn this, but, you know, I'm not anywhere close to a genius. So I'm for certain now that is how we generate that, because that is the same code as that. So now if we want to do this to that other map, arrow point, let's see, so 2B, 8F, C4. Let me see if I'm getting it right. 2B, 8F, C4. Yep, minus 134, 160, I believe. I'm starting to like memorize that number now. 134, 160. Yep. I don't really know why this calculation works. I just know it does. So now we enter your equals, and then that should be the offset we put. So offset here, bam. Oh wait, I don't know why I deleted it. Oh, maybe because I had to put this first. So let's do the MAR file first. Let's go to maps, test hack, bam. We're going to be modifying let's see, yeah, we're going to be modifying this ROM, and we're going to make it 17 by 17, and the offset is going to be the one that we were doing, which is that. And that's it. Once I press this, it'll be in the game. So let's do it. Bam. Wait, could not be written. Oh, it couldn't be written because it's open. That's why. Let's close it. Bam. Run. Finished. So now let's go see what we've done. ROM headers invalid, device size, blah, blah, blah. Huh, maybe we did something. Maybe we did something wrong. Huh. We may have done something wrong. Let's see. Test hack. Unless let's see. Possibly. Unless somehow putting all those cannons really like messed up. Let me see. Make sure we have the calculation right. 2B, 8F, C4, minus 134, 160. Okay, so that's that. Oh, maybe because there's a space there. I hope it wasn't because of that. I hope I didn't just ruin the game because of that. Oh, let me close the game again. Oh man, I hope that space didn't screw me up. If it did, that's why you always make backups. Here, I may have just screwed it up. Let's see. It's okay. I mean, we're gonna lose all the stuff we did for Sensei, but we'll still have we'll still be able to put this map in there. Let's see here. I think that's what happened. All right. Hack test. Bam. Gonna delete this one. Unfortunately. Rip OP Sensei. And it can be done again very easily. And then let's name this one the same thing, hack test. All right, make sure we got that. Make sure we have that. Okay. Still doesn't work. Then something went wrong. And we'll just try it on a different map. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was my fault. If you're gonna use a calculator like that, don't copy and paste it. Or if you do, get rid of that space, because that space literally just deleted like everything. So, and let's see, it should be under pre-deployed. Yep, there goes our map. It's gonna be real glitchy because it's gonna use the same units that were in the. You're gonna see why I mean it's glitched. Okay, as you can see, it's glitched as hell, like really bad, because it's still using the same. It's still using the same location as. Basically, it's still using the locations of the units on the original version of the map to do this. So in order to change that is another thing. Basically, let's say we want to make it so we have a starting unit. Actually, let's say we want to make this map just have no units. I can show you what to do. Let's go. That's when you open up your hex editor thingy again. I really hope this is like not too much, because it is a long video, and I understand if you have to, you can go back, ask me a shit ton of questions, do whatever, because I'm just like, at this point I'm just like going, you know. But basically we're gonna need this. And let's take the unit data. The unit data is all the data for all the units on the map. We use that data to do the same exact calculation that we did here. So instead, now we're going to find, let's see, unit data. Let's go, so it's 2E, D8 minus 134,160. Bam. Also remember to get rid of the space. And then when we go into this program, we can search the entire offset. Control and G gives you, so you can look at whatever offset you want to go to in this hex editor program. And so here, let's start off with, let's paste the value we just got. Let me get rid of the space. And then bam, it takes you right to it. I can actually recognize it. So the format for the pre-deployed units goes like this: FE1, all those zeros, and then it's followed by, I think this, if I remember correctly, I believe this is the X value, this is the Y value, and then there's a bunch of other things. Basically, that one unit equals about this much code. That is for one unit that is placed on a map. So in our case, we don't want any of that. We want to totally make the map blank. So we can literally do this. Let's find, okay, that's the whenever it says FE2, that is all the units for player 2. FE1 is basically telling you these are all the players, or all the units for player 1, etc. So for maps that have a FTA counter, all you need to do is copy the the FEO2 thing, and then follow it by all the data for that one infantry unit, and then that's it. And then you can, you're done with it. But for this, let's go back to the beginning here. Let's delete all this data because we don't need it. We're not really gonna straight up delete it, but we're gonna replace it with zeros. Let's see, let's find FE. Well, we can do it this way. So that's FEO1, so then let's search for FEO2, and now let's search for FEO3, and then FEO4. Okay, so this should be the end of this list. Well, not really the end of it, but almost. And then it usually ends with F0, I think, or something like that. Let me see. Well, actually, the best way to figure it out is by doing this, looking for the next FE01 right there. So yeah, so this is the end of that code. Now let's go back to the top. Actually, I think I went too far. There's probably a much more efficient way of finding this stuff than I am doing, but it's okay. Let's see, yeah, okay, I don't want to go too fast. FE02, let's find the FE01, okay, there it is. And just to be sure, oh, you know what I really should have done? Hold on, my bad. I'm probably just gonna end up confusing people now. It's good to actually take notes while you do this, so that you can, like, it's good to have like a pen and paper to write down like offsets, which offsets are these values right here, so you don't have to be like kind of looking and guessing. I'm actually going to write that down right now. This is when things can get kind of confusing because it's so much code to scroll through. You can forget where you left off. So let's go here. Let's see. So it's 1. Let me get a better pen. 1B AD70. We're just going to put that. And then let's go here. And then let's find the next FE01 is there. So that means the end of this code is at 1BB860. So let's copy this all up so we get to 1BAD. Wait, 1BAD70. Is it really this long? Guess so. 1BAD70. Okay. Yeah, I guess this code is really this damn long. Oh my god. There's no way it's this long. Hold on. Well, regardless, basically the things you need to know is that the beginning of these codes starts with FE01 and they end in no, they end in FF0000. Blah, 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 blah. You know, if you really want to know exactly what it is, just let me know and I can help you out. But for this sake, because I'm still probably going to mess up something along the lines, we're just going to replace all these with, let me see, edit. Let's see. Just fill this all with zeros. It shouldn't break it too bad. It just might make another map have no pre-deployed units. It's not a big deal. But let's save it and see what happens. So now, this should work to the point where when we get in the game, let's actually open the ROM again. Pizza and bacon. It just came out of nowhere. Pizza and bacon. So now let's go to Arrow Point, which is a map we made. And should have 0 units on it. But I actually freaking crashed it. Because I must have messed up one value in there from doing all that stuff. So it's much, I mean, I'm not taking my time, and that's unfortunate. That's actually my fault. But just you know, so I can make it a little bit better to say without just having to go through the whole process again. the methods that I showed you of how to find the data is what's important. So when you find the unit lists and you know how to identify it, I also send you links on what these formats look like, so you can say, oh, that's all the data for units, or for for all the units for player one and all that stuff. Once you can learn how to identify it, it's from there, it's really just learning the format and figuring out what you can and can't delete, which you get an idea once you look at all the other files. That's basically how I got the PvP map Atlas to work, and it turned out pretty good, to the point where, and I could show you that as an example, because obviously this example is just like beyond my head now. I'm like losing it. Let's go into this one so I can at least show you it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I should have a thing for that. So I'll just show you this because it's already pre-done. And at least by the end of this, I can show you how it's done when you do it correctly. And let's go to map ROM values. The map I replaced was Crater Reef. So that's the data in the ROM. This is the unit data. Okay. So luckily I don't have to calculate that stuff anymore. Let me copy this. Go here. Bam. Okay. So just the way I was showing you earlier, the original map had data that went all the way down to about here-ish of the entire, like every unit that was on that map, like every single unit. I deleted it all for the most part, correctly, not like I just did a minute ago, because I took more time. And I inserted this little bit of code that ends right here. It ends here. This is the format for when you end the code. So like the beginning of the code obviously is FE002, or no, FE02 followed by all these zeros, and then you actually start getting like actually wait, is that right? Yeah, and then you actually start putting in like this means 15. I don't know, let me make sure I got this right. 0E, let's see. Okay, yeah. So this is the X value, this is the Y value. So that means 15, 1. You have to repeat it here. And there's a bunch of little like formatting things. Like I believe the 64 is like the health, 63 is like the ammo or something. I mean, once I give you the thing to look at, you'll be able to tell what it means, because it's it's a little bit extra. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Basically, this little bit of code was what let me put that one little infantry in for my Atlas map. And if I wanted to add more units, I could just pretty much just make another thing here that says like FE blah blah blah, and it would keep listing more and more units in the list. But all that means is now all this free space is space for me to add more pre-deployed units, or even a new map for all that matters. Like I can actually use this to insert a brand new map, so I have enough room to do that. You know what I mean? It's possible. It's not very difficult actually. It's just now I have free space to do so. But yeah, that's kind of how it starts working when you start making it work and you start deleting things. You get free space where you can add more stuff. You just have to format it correctly so you don't like delete something by accident like I did, and then the game crashes. But yeah, and then I'll show you the example. I know I've shown this already, but I can show you what it looks like once you do it correctly. Let's go here. And there'll be one more thing I'll show after this, and that'll be it. Versus, let's see, where did I put it? Oh, I called a map little shit. That's my bad. I think I put it in, I put it in 2 COs. It's right here. It even displays correctly. And then when you play the map comes out exactly the way you would want it to. And there's the FTA counter. And that's it. This is how you correctly insert a map. You use the same steps I showed you, but just take your time with it. Look at it. Ask me questions if you have questions. Make sure it looks 100% correct, because you miss one little thing and you're screwed. And yeah, that's it. That's it for that. The final thing I'll show you is a good use with this nightmare hack thing is, like, let's open up the ROM we were just looking at that I did correctly, and let's change the map. Let's go to the map I had just did, which was, let's see if I could find it, Crater Reef. This program has a lot of good uses where you can change the amount of players in the game. You can make it so that the colors are preset. So like we can make player 1 color be black, player 2 color yellow. I don't know if this matters too much, but I usually do that too. Yellow. And a lot of different little settings in here. You can even make it, if you remember, I have all this free space here. I could essentially reverse engineer, or reverse calculate this value. Like, let's say I put values for my own units right here. I can reverse calculate this value so I can insert it into the map data here, and then it will use that map data. I don't know if that little tidbit makes sense. It's a little thing where if you know what I was doing 100%, it tells you that you can basically you can use those pointers to point to new sets of data, as long as there's free space and you know how to calculate. But anyways, besides that, that's it. Now let's test. Let's go to File, Apply Changes, Save ROM. And then let's open it up one more time before I go, because I'm actually getting very tired. And I actually probably should have done this in segments, you know what I mean? Like have one video just for like map insertions and etc, etc. But I just said screw it, we're going all the way. So let's go to 2COs, and now you'll see that their colors are different. It even shows them differently here, which is really cool. And yeah, this is probably if I can get all my maps to be, all my PvP maps to be in the game, this would be the way I would change colors rather than using AR codes. It's a little bit more official looking, but anyways, after all that stuff I told you, if none of it made any sense and you wasted your time, ask me questions. Either that, or maybe the hacking isn't really for you, or I was just really bad at explaining it in 2 hours. But regardless, I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned at least something. And you know, there's just so much stuff, and I didn't even realize how much stuff I learned, that like even saying it, it's like, man, I hope these guys get it. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around, whoever has stuck around, which I think is Vision. And yeah, have a good night, everybody. Hopefully we have another PvP soon. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.